Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Gaming Table. I'm Rob. Today I'm going to be playing Witchcraft, a solo-only game here during October. One of our horror-themed games that we're going to play. This is a reskin of a game we've played on the channel before called Resist. If you want to see how that's played, go check out that video where we play it and teach it and talk about it and all that stuff. So we're going to play Witchcraft. I'm doing a little different than Resist though. Normally when I get a game like this that has a repeatable randomized default way to play and then comes with a quote-unquote campaign book. I don't know how much of a campaign it really is though, but it has a bunch of standalone scenarios basically. And normally I would just leave that part off and just play the default game and then move on, just to try it out, get a grasp of it, understand it, and then show that default gameplay to you guys. But I played the default gameplay, and then I played a handful of the scenarios. No, not a handful. I played a handful of times, but I only played, I think, 3 different scenarios I tried. And I like the scenario play better. It's kind of neat. It sets up the story, gives like custom decks and cards and things to all pick and set up very specifically, and changes the win conditions and sometimes the loss conditions and stuff. Which I found really neat. I liked it better than the default game. And the default game is cool. It's cool the way it works, and it's kind of randomized and stuff. Or you can kind of, you can set it up how you want too. You can pick your own jurors that like form the game and stuff. But I'll be honest. Everyone's telling me this is the better version of Resist. But honestly, like, yeah, there are changes and the theme's different and stuff. But like, I haven't played Resist in a little bit. But I literally like feel like I'm playing Resist like almost exactly. It's like the same game. So that's maybe why I was drawn to the standalone scenarios, because they felt different than only the based Resist that I played a bunch of times. So it felt different. I don't know, but it's still the same. Like, you're literally making the same decisions, playing the same type of cards. The same mechanics are all in the game. Yeah, I feel like you don't need to own both for sure. But I'm only own both just for science, okay? I would not normally buy a game that's so close to the same game for keeping in my collection. Like, I don't need 2 games that are so similar. So yeah, so if you already own Resist, I don't know. Some people are like, oh my god, you gotta own this one, is better. But it's like, it might be better, but it's so similar. It's like you're buying the same paper and cardboard over again. I don't know. So don't do what I do. Don't buy 2 of the games that are like so similar if you already have one and you enjoy it and you're still willing to play it more, because it's not like this one's gonna blow your mind with new experiences, okay? Like, it's literally exact same game flow and feel and overall experience. Like, spend that money on something that's gonna give you a new experience, something wow you better, I think, is the smarter play. But you do whatever you want to do with your money and your space and your time. Maybe you just sell the other one and get that money to pay for the new one, and then that's smart. I like that. That's a good idea. But yeah, there's no need to own both, that's for sure. Or pick a theme that you like. Marav says, which one would you recommend to start, Rob? See, this is the problem. You're now implying you need to own multiple. So you're going to start with one and move on to another. No, just pick whichever one's theme looks good to you. French Resistance or the Witch Trials. And whatever the next one is they reskin. Because if you guys keep buying the same game over and over again, they're going to keep just redoing that and spending time remaking the same game over again and not trying to make something new and interesting. Because that's the way the movie, video game, TV, and now board game world works, right? Let's just remake the same thing and reskin the same theme on top of this, or a different theme on top of the same mechanics, just because it's the safe bet. And it'll get us great crowdfunding money when we show, look how this one's here, and you can give us more money in advance here. It's like, it's genius. Why take risk? Why take risk, right? But in the end, we all start getting the same stuff over and over again, and it starts to make us lose interest. But anyways. Yogi, thank you so much for the super chat. You crazy bastard. Says, Rob, quote, don't do what I do. Yeah. Do what I say, maybe. Don't do what I say, though. Don't even listen to me. Don't listen to anyone on the internet. Make your own decisions. All right. Because only you know all the variables involved in those decision-making process. But don't completely go by someone. So, Marav, the answer to your question, I hate answering those kind of questions. Buy whichever one is the theme that looks interesting to you. Obviously, you can watch my playthrough and thoughts on the other one, and you can watch the playthrough today and the thoughts on this one, and maybe one looks cooler to you. Watch like 5 minutes of that stream, watch 5 minutes of this stream, you'll get the idea. I don't know. 5 minutes. 5 minutes in my time is like 3 hours. So yeah, 5 minutes, 5 minutes in your time, what would take you 5 minutes to do, I take 3 hours to do on stream. All right, so Rob's spouting truth bombs. I mean, if you have neither to buy both, sometimes it's so general consensus. When I was doing research on this game before and asking people in the live chat, Witchcraft is the better game, quote unquote. But again, like if this theme doesn't appeal to you at all, and it's like you don't care about it, and like maybe the other one looks cooler, like, you know, to you, and like the theme's better, you know, maybe like the art, you know, better on the tail. Maybe you like, you know, you're a history buff, and I mean, both these are like kind of loosely based on history. I mean, the French Resistance one's more closer, I think. This one's like kind of like taking its own twist on things, obviously, but it does talk about it being connected and stuff. But yeah, do your research. The rule books are out, so you can read about like what the background of the theme is, and you know, little warnings about like, you know, game not trying to offend anybody and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's up to you. Like yeah. But it is basically the same kind of deck building game where you're incentivized or like heavily recommended in the game to draft your deck at the start of the game. But obviously when you're first playing, it's hard to draft cards when you don't understand like what you're trying to do in the game. So in this one, they give you some starting witches to play with that they recommend to start with your first game. And then after that, they're like, please draft witches. That's how we designed the game to work. So don't bitch and complain how the game is so hard and you're having trouble and it's not coming together. It's like, no, they want you to play it a bunch of times, get used to the abilities, and then draft what you're looking for based on the scenario in front of you. Whether it is the default game where you're having different jurors pull in different cards into the game to give the monsters or the bad cards or whatever they're called abilities, because only certain types of bad cards and missions and stuff will show up in the default game based on the 3 jurors you choose, because they have a logo on them that attaches to a bunch of other cards that get pulled in and mixed with the general cards. So based on those cards coming in, you'll have specific effects that certain witches might counter better, which is why the drafting mechanic makes super sense and why they've designed it the way they have. Because if you draft witches that don't have silver bullet powers to solve, you know, the bomb cards that are dropped by the enemy, you're gonna have trouble. I mean, you can get lucky and you can make some choices and dodge things, but yeah, you generally want to draft the silver bullets to deal with if you see the bomb cards that are put in by those jurors, or in this case, the scenarios. So we're gonna play the custom scenarios, which do the same thing, where they don't care about which juror or which set or module you're putting in. They literally will pluck cards from all different, and you'll see that. We'll go into the campaign book, and we'll go through the setup, and I'll show you, and then how they do the custom win conditions. But it gets rid of those juror things, so like it breaks that restriction and just kind of pulls cards from wherever and sets up little scenarios based on a little story, which we'll look at. And I just want to show that because I felt like if I played the default game here and we already played the default game Resist, it's like I wanted to show something different. So the way I don't think I played scenarios in Resist on stream. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Maybe I did. I didn't go look, to be honest, obviously. But this time I want to play with the campaign book to take a look at it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that one had 1 second. Sorry about that. I yanked my mic cable out. I went too far. But I do have Resist here. Yeah, it did have a scenario book. Yeah, Resist had a scenario book. It's literally such a reskin. Such a reskin. Okay, yeah. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, it's like the same idea. Like a little book of scenarios with changed setups and, you know, different cards you're facing in different orders. And Oh, they have a historic campaign. Okay, that's different. Yeah, I haven't looked at this game since I like last streamed it, right? And this was a game I was looking for a while and I really wanted it. And I wasn't paying attention to crowdfunding to know that they were reskinning it to an improved version, quote unquote, that like, I don't know. But because if I knew that, I wouldn't have bought this one. I probably would have bought just the Witchcraft one. And started there. Because it took so long for me to find this one at my local game store. It kept going out of stock, and like I knew it was obviously a good game because it was like hard to keep in stock with my local game stores. So when it finally came in stock, and I forgot at Gen Con to get it, I was an idiot. But yeah, when I got Resist, I kind of regretted it because the Witchcraft was like less than a year away from coming out to retail, or maybe only a few months. So yeah, so I should have just got this one. Like it's so similar. I don't know. I'm sure you can nitpick and say, "Oh, this thing's a little different, and this is a little different," and like, you're literally playing the same game. But anyways, yeah, this is as close to like straight up reskin you get in our hobby, right? Straight up. Okay. Rob says, "How long do you think it will take someone to make a fan scenario combination where witches help the resistance?" Okay, we're gonna change today's live stream. Let's do that right now, everyone. Let's work together and combine both games into some weird, crazy mix, and we'll draft soldiers and resistance soldiers, and we'll also draft witches, and we'll create some super team, and then we'll go on adventures together and make our whole alternate history universe. It'll be fantastic. You don't get that on the internet every day. All right. Okay. So here's what we're playing, Witchcraft. I should have did this earlier. So came out in 2023, supposedly. I feel through crowdfunding and stuff, maybe in a different country, but for me, it wasn't available till this year in North America. I had to travel to another country to get it at Gen Con in the US. But I think it's available now in North America, at least. Like, I'm pretty sure it's out at retail by now. But of course, once I buy a game, I kind of don't keep looking to see if it's out and in stock, because that's what consumers do. As me, being a consumer, full disclosure, I bought this game, like I said, at Gen Con from the publisher's booth. I was not given it as a review copy. I'm not being paid to play it. And what I say about it shouldn't be taken super seriously. And we're just going to play it, have some fun. I'm a gamer just like you guys. And except for I know how to click go live on this program on my computer. So, but other than that, I'm the same as you. I buy games and try to, save money here and there and buy stuff that looks interesting, and I have different tastes than you, and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, yada yada yada. Yogi says yes, it's in retail. There you go. So it says 2023 it came out, but to me it came out in 2024. But again, crowdfunding people had it like obviously early. Not always, but in this case I think they had it a while early. It's a solo only game, if I didn't already say that. 20 to 40 minute play time. The weight 2.32 according to the community. Okay, so anyways, I talked about the campaign book and the rule book already. So the rule book has a base game that's a little different, that involves jurors. You'll have 3 jurors, and they'll have a symbol up here, and based on that symbol, you'll grab certain missions that you'll play against that'll be randomly shuffled in difficulty order, and that will also give you different, I keep wanting to call these monster cards, and I don't know why. What are they really called? They are called challenge cards. Okay, they're challenge cards. I don't know how I forget that when I know about the challenge phase. So the cards are named after that phase. They're challenges. Okay, so the challenges will also could have symbols on them that tie to a juror. They tie to a juror. So you have generic challenges that have no symbol. There's 20 of them. They will usually always be included, at least in the base game, they're always included. Then you'll grab all the, I think there's sets of 5, modular sets of 5 cards that will be pulled in and shuffled in here. That'll create a different vibe, different feel, different annoying cards, or some that are okay. There's familiars and stuff, which we'll see in a second. But that will set up your challenge deck. The challenges you'll have to overcome or ignore, and the missions you'll have to face are all driven by 3 different jurors you'll randomly get, or I guess you could pick them. And then you'll use a little cube, and don't sneeze or the cube moves and you lose the game. But this cube will change based on a persuasion value, and some cards, some bad cards will make it move back, and some cards will make it move forward, like these missions. If I defeat this mission, it's a success. This right here, we don't care about this today. I'm just showing you what's different in the default version. I'm not going to be playing the default version. I'm sure there's playthroughs out there that literally only play the default version. I assume that would be the most common thing that will be produced for this game. So I'm going to try something a little different, I guess. But the juror would get 2 persuasion if it matched the symbol. And obviously, if you're playing the default game, you'd have this mission in here, and you would have that juror. And if you want to move the persuasion in a positive direction on a different juror, you'd get the lower value. So there's a nice decision point and strategy there on, like, you might be desperate for one juror or another juror to persuade them to not burn you and allow you to help the village or whatever. And this cube will be moving around during the game, but there's 3 of them to move around. And tied to these jurors, different every game, is randomly generated little, I think they're called conviction cards, which just have a little number on them. I think like 1 through 6 or 1 through 7 or something. But these are face down and randomized per juror. So you technically don't know what the right persuasion is to persuade that juror. And eventually at some point in the game, just like Resist, you will pick a time where you do not go on to the next round. You just say, all right, I'm not pushing my luck. If you haven't lost already, you need to decide when not to go further. And you say, I want to go to trial. Then you will flip over any of these conviction cards you haven't flipped over, and you add them together. And that will tell me, is my persuasion the equal or higher value? Did I have enough to persuade this guy? So if I was at 5 or higher, I'm pretty sure I would persuade him. If I was less, I would not. And then you just check your score based on if you persuade all 3 jurors, you play on God mode, you're amazing. If you only persuaded 1 or no, 2, I think is like a win. 1 is like a you kind of won. I don't remember. Let's see. It's here, but it's that kind of game. It's same as like Resist idea. 1 is a minor loss, and if you persuaded no jurors, you lost. It was a major loss. So you get like a participation trophy, a draw, only 2. A win is 3. A win is 3, okay. But that's like a super win, man. If you could do all 3, you're super winning. But you can peek at these by using effects to flip like 1 over. You can move them around to different jurors. And the idea is you're trying to manage these resources to hopefully overcome some random, maybe unknown information and hopefully win with a little bit of luck and a little bit of strategy and tactics to decide like when the right time is to stop the game and if you played correctly. So that is not being used. All this mechanic, it's gone in the scenarios. They have their own win conditions. They will pull cards from any module, doesn't matter, it will tell you. And that's what we're gonna play today. And then the rest of the rules of the game you'll get while we play. I'll explain as we go. But we are gonna draft witches together, and I'll explain why I'm drafting. Feel free, I know there's a chat delay of like 10, 15, 30, whatever seconds, depending where you live and the resolution you're watching at. But you will also can chirp me in the chat and basically tell me, this witch or that witch, that kind of thing. I have a few that I really like, and I try to collect some sets, and I'll show you that in a sec. But we'll draft them together as intended. And again, I'm still newish to the game, so I'm not a pro. Don't come here looking for the greatest strategy. Unless we have an amazing win, then yes, I will backtrack and say like, yeah, of course, this video was meant to show you the most amazing way to win. But I'm just setting it up so in case we bomb, that's what's happening. So this little scenario book, just like the one we saw just a second ago in Resist, has like some general setup rules where you remove some things that have like text and abilities on them that don't work in this new mode because we're not playing with jurors. So anything referring to jurors and conviction cards and persuasion. So we're going to ignore this stuff on the missions, this little symbol down here, and we don't really care about this. And it tells you put those cards back in the box, and then there's some other cards in the box that you play with only in scenario mode that have new abilities on them to kind of replace the cards that were removed in most cases. And then some different things here. So we'll look at that in a sec on screen. But I've pre-set up for the scenario. I've gotten our challenge cards, but we are going to get 3 random familiars, and we'll go through that setup right now, if I can find it here. Yogi says drafting is fun. Without the draft, it's a snooze fest. Yeah, but again, you need to play it a few times, I find, to understand like what is even going on. And especially if you're playing the default mode and you're playing against certain jurors, you kind of want to stick with that juror setup so you understand or look through some of the cards to understand like what are the gotchas, right? The bomb cards and draft those silver bullets if you can. But yes, drafting is like in the rule book, they do clearly state like the game is intended to be drafted. Like get good scrub and don't complain about the game until you like understand the drafting. So if you don't like drafting in your games or you don't like getting your ass kicked by playing with the default starting setup, don't play this game. So yeah, drafting is like part of it, which kind of sucks when you're just like, oh, I want to try this game one time at a convention and like check it out, you know, like it's probably going to be rough. It's meant to be like enjoyed multiple times, and it's a quick setup, quick solo, small game, you know. So it's like not that big a deal to sit there, look through some cards, or play it a few times in a single sitting, and then start drafting and see if you can solve the puzzle, you know. But yeah, and I found with the scenarios, like drafting is key because what they give you, they're testing you with like, here's our setup, and here's the bad guys you're gonna have, here's the missions you could have, like, you know, you don't want to maybe draft a card that like instantly deletes a wolf if there's no wolves in the scenario. But you might want to because of their stats and stuff still play them. It's not going to be broken or anything. But stuff like that, it's just like, obviously they're trying to test you on your, like, are you paying attention? How well do you know the game? So this is Witchcraft. We're playing the campaign book. Mayor Elizabeth was dead. We found her on the steps of the church the morning after the strange blue light stone from the bell tower. Or, sorry, after a strange blue light shone from the bell tower. A week after her burial, 4 strangers appeared in Wildegren's, if I'm saying that right, offering to help and bringing warnings of monsters. About this campaign handbook. Again, this is no way a campaign. I don't like the way they say it's a campaign. Maybe it does tell a story, so I guess it could be. But in gamer terms, like a campaign for me means stuff you do in one scenario carries forward, like mechanically, or you evolve somehow. But I don't feel that's happening because it even tells you right here, this book provides 9 standalone tales. When there's standalone tales, that's not a campaign. That's not a campaign. But I mean, it is though still. But anyways, you know what I mean. Which you can play as an alternative to the standard game outlined in the Witchcraft rulebook. To play a tale, already getting throat tickles is no good. No good. To play a tale, use all the normal rules unless otherwise instructed. The next session describes general changes which apply to all the tales. The rest of the book outlines additional changes specific to each rule. Let's just... So, there is no trial in any of the tales. Okay, so that whole idea of stopping and going, oh, no, I don't want to go on to the next round, I might lose. Let's just go to trial and roll the dice and see if we did well enough. That is not a thing anymore, which I like a lot. So trial components, this is the stuff I was talking about. I've already made these changes. I'm pretty sure I didn't forget anything in there. I double checked, but who knows. But I removed a bunch of stuff. And then it says here, playing the game. When you overcome a mission during the resolve phase, which we'll go over the phases, but they're right here. So literally we're going to play some witch cards. And when you play cards, you have a choice to make. Do you play them hidden, where they have weaker effects? They go to a discard pile in your deck, and I'll eventually come back around and draw them, just like a normal deck building game. But this deck building game is focused heavily on the kind of trashing mechanic, which removes cards out of your deck for big effects kind of idea, where it's kind of mixed. The like powerful effects removed from deck. And you can play those witches in step 1 or step 2 that way. And basically one is playing it before knowing all the information, and after the fact is playing it knowing more information. And there's a risk and reward usually to that. But you choose a mission to go after, you flip all the challenges up, and then we make some choices on playing witches. If we play them revealed, they do crazy effects, they have better stats, but then they're removed from your deck. They go to a jail pile. You can get them back with effects from the jail pile, and you can pull cards that you didn't draft. You can get into your deck through your discard pile, you know, when you recruit them or whatever. Basically, like you purchase them, kind of, without spending. I mean, you are spending usually a witch effect and removing a card from your deck to get a new card. but it's still managing. It's like a deck builder with a twist kind of idea, but it's definitely heavily using deck building mechanics that we've seen in many other games. And then you kind of like, based on the power you've generated, you then spend that power to break through challenge cards that are kind of in front of the mission. Then once you're done all the challenges you want to do, and if you have any leftover power, you would then spend the rest of it on defeating the mission if you can. You don't have to defeat all the challenges. You don't have to defeat all the missions, but you get through the best you can and try to like put out as many fires as you can and take as least punishment as you can. This game is not about like winning all the time. It's more about like not losing too badly and like negating your losses and timing things right so that when you do get rewards, they're used to help you in the more difficult situations to kind of cascade or snowball, hopefully. Otherwise, it could snowball the other way very heavily for you. But it's a lot of gambling and risk and you know, guessing. But obviously, you play the game a lot, you'll start knowing what's possible based on what's in discard piles, what have you seen, what's in the modules, like what could I run into on that face down card, and make some educated guesses. And then you basically go to trial, but we're not doing that. And then recovery phase is like basically draw 5 new witches to your hand and kind of reset the deck or reset the board and then go back to another round. So that's kind of how that works. But this says if you overcome a mission during the resolve mission phase, so that was step 4, instead place it in a face-up overcome missions pile. So keep it, because based on the scenario, it will have different repercussions based on the score or the win condition you need, right? It might say every couple missions you have give you something, or you need to have at least so many missions in your pile. And you'll see that here for the first one. And just to let you guys know, I'm just streaming today because I figured I'd explain the game and the differences. We'll play through. I mean, I play through super fast off stream, but obviously as I'm explaining my decision and we're having fun and chatting with chat, I feel like this video will be stretched longer than it should, and it might give people the impression that this is a long solo game. No, this is super quick plays once you know what you're doing. And I would just want to see how the first episode goes. So hit that like button. Definitely helps people find the stream, helps YouTube promote the content, helps the channel grow. And I may play a few more scenarios next week and continue this little campaign, just trying some more scenarios out. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but I just want to play one scenario today. Even if it's super short, super basic, super straightforward, just to give you an idea of how the scenarios work and how the base game works. But again, I could play more next week if you guys are interested and we see the scenarios evolve and the story continue. And yeah, maybe we can play more in the next episodes too. We can play multiple scenarios, but today I just want to keep it to one. And just more of a showcase of the game, because a lot of people don't want to see all the scenarios. So we'll just show one today, because you don't need to see more to get an idea of like how the game works at all. Yeah, I forgot to mention that at the beginning. All right. So after, let's see here. After you complete the resolve mission phase, proceed immediately to the recover step, skip the trial phase, and the success and failure effects on possessed challenges. So those usually are ones tied to the specific jurors we're playing with. These possessed will tell you about, you know, how they impact them, but we're not playing with jurors. So instead, the scenario will tell you if you're playing with possessed challenge annoying cards, how they are annoying in a new way, because they don't work in this mode without jurors, you know, if that makes sense. And they'll change every time, kind of how they work, which adds extra flavor to each scenario, making it feel a little different. And then ending the game, each tale will tell you how to win or lose for the tale. If you complete the requirements to win, the game ends immediately, and you do not need to complete any remaining phases or aftermath effects. Okay? So it's more straightforward, and I like that. I like how it's a little more straightforward. But again, if you play all the scenarios and you're like, I get it, I've crushed them, I know how to solve this game, you do have that replayable default mode, which can be randomized to give you a spicy little challenge every time you play. And you can change the difficulty in the juror mode too. Like the default mode, you can have your jurors start at different persuasion levels to make the game easier or harder. But in this mode, you don't have jurors to do that. So I think it's just one difficulty. So here we go. Oh yeah, let's check the huge story here. This is Tale 1 we're playing today. If you didn't see that already in the thumbnail. The end, part 1. Evil comes to Wildegren's. At first, we thought the strangers were mad, or charlatans preying on our fear. Then we started seeing things in the woods. Oh no. Even has art setting the scene. All right, setup. Find the 7 missions from Act 1. So there's Act 1, 2, and 3 missions. That's basically just a difficulty thing. Obviously you can, in this one, we're only going to be facing Act 1, but they start replacing the missions from the pile in difficulty order, and in the default game, or in other scenarios you'll see, if we play more, is you can choose to attack like an Act 2 mission or an Act 3 mission. You don't have to get through all the level 1s first, but in this case, they're all level 1s, which I think is smart for a first scenario to kind of like ease us into a little bit. So that's the deal. So find the 7 missions, Act 1, which I have a few out here. I was going to show examples for teaching, but I think we're good. Here we have, this is the value you need to overcome. So if you have enough power to knock this away, it's just like on challenge cards, there's a power level. There's a little mission title. There's the act level. And then there's sometimes they have a failure or a succeed. And this is how many challenge cards will go in front of it. And we can ignore this and we can ignore this because they are not needed in this mode. So I have them all here, 7. Okay, shuffle them and place 3 cards face up in a row to form the mission display. Okay, place the remaining, I can't shuffle while not looking at my hands. Place the remaining 4 cards face down to form the mission deck. So we're gonna put these out here, the rest over here. We'll look at them closer in a second. Okay, we'll do something like this. Yeah, sure. Do it like this. Okay, we'll go down the table in a sec. But then you find the challenges marked with the familiar. So familiars, I wanted to show that. That's kind of neat. So these are challenge cards, just like the other challenge cards we haven't really looked at, but they have a value you need to overcome. We do not care about what set they come from. They have abilities, and this one's success. Sometimes they have a success value or ability. Sometimes they have a failure ability. Sometimes they have a, if you choose that mission ability, this applies or fires off. Sometimes they have a not chosen effect that if you choose a different mission to tackle, effects might fire off at a non-chosen mission. Those are the 4 things that can kind of happen, the 4 different ability types. But these familiars, they don't hurt you if you just ignore them. You can still win the mission. You can still deal with other challenges. But if you do have enough power you want to spend on this, part of the fun of this game is making decisions where to spend your power. That'll help you going forward, but sometimes it's risky. But if you do that, you can capture these guys if you succeed, and you will have this ability in play for future turns and beyond until you lose them somehow. I guess. I don't know if you do lose them ever. I can't remember. But anyways, we're going to get 3 random familiars for this scenario, and there's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch, and they all do different stuff. So that makes the scenario, the first scenario, even the deck you're playing with could change up which familiars you see or don't see in the game. So we're just going to grab 3 random ones. Marav wants the cursed chicken. Oh, cursed chicken's in here, right? I know there's cursed chickens. Cursed chicken. So this is a, as you see part of the setup there, this is what a kind of bad challenge looks like. So a value to overcome, there's a failure effect. Gain a curse and place it on the top of the Coven deck, which is mainly basically our deck. But there's a recruit deck where you can pull witches from possibly. And you'll see that as we play. So 3 familiars. I don't know, these 3. Okay. And we will shuffle those in. What else can we do? Oh yeah, I already talked about how I've already grabbed these cards already and put them in here with the general cards, but just showing you. There's specific cards you get for the scenario to set up. So it does add a little extra time, how you're like, you have to look for like one specific card with one specific value in some cases, where normally you just have to look in the top right for symbols, grab the symbols, throw them in. In this, you have to not only like look for the name of the card, but the difficulty value and how many of the card you need. So there's a little more setup, but it's like not the end of the world. The deck's not that big. And then shuffle the 3 familiars together with the 7 listed challenges and the 20 common challenges, those with no link to juror icon. Place the cards face down to form the challenge deck. Okay, I'm just going to give this a good shuffle. Playing the game, we have no special rules beyond the default rules I've kind of explained, which you'll see 1,000 times as we play through. And then here is the end game condition. We need to show this, okay? So you win the game immediately if the following occurs. If we overcome any 6 missions. And of course, even if we play the scenario again, we'll get different missions showing up at the beginning. We can tackle different ones. We'll have different challenges at each mission. We'll see different witch cards. We should have a different drafted witch deck, which will lead to different values. And we shuffle that up and draw 5 cards. We could see curses in those hands to hurt us and help us as we go forward at different turns with ebb and flow. And that could lead to a whole different feeling, kind of difficulty of the scenario based on what you see when. But we lose the game immediately if any of the following occur. If you fail any 2 missions, as soon as we fail them, it's over. If you fail one, the first one you fail, you just flip it over, and it actually blocks the options you get to pick. So you don't replace it with a new mission like you would if you succeed. So you might not always have 3 missions to choose from to tackle. So reducing your options could get pretty scary because you might be then forced to go after a mission that you're not prepped for. And the total number of villagers on cards. If a card ever tells us to lose a villager, we would flip a card off the village deck, and they have values from 0 to 3, I think. And the 0 one actually lets you shuffle it back in. So you obviously don't lose any. You always have a chance of drawing that then. And obviously the deck gets smaller, you'll see it more often. But once there's 5 or more villagers in the lost pile, so if we had this case happen, it's GG, it's over. So all it takes is 2 cards, 2 pulls off the villager deck, and you could lose. And there is only 1 3, 2 2s, 3 1s. Oh no, 3 2s, 3 2s, 3 1s, and a 0. And there's the 0. Shuffle it back in the villager deck after. Okay, so the deck's not that big, but if we have 5 or more villagers in here, it's over. Okay, you're told to gain a curse when the curse pile is empty. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 curses. They're just the kind of cards you get in a deck building game that go in your deck and gum up your deck, gum up your hand, reduce your power potency. There are ways to remove these from deck, to gain these that you'll see in the game. But if we ever need to get another one to our discard pile, you know, and the pile's empty, instant lose. Okay, and obviously on that same path, that same trajectory, if you're getting that many curses, you then and you're losing witches, so you're using their big powerful effects, or you're losing them by the challenges making you discard them and exile them from the game. If you ever draw a hand with no witches in the recovery phase, you draw up your 5 cards or 6 cards or 4 cards, whatever it is, based on the game state. You instantly lose if you have no witches to draw. So if you're gaining a lot of curses and you're losing a lot of witches, that could spell a loss. So before we get our 6 missions completed. And this one's pretty straightforward. Like, it doesn't add a lot of, these are the normal loss conditions that are in the default game. So this is a good scenario to start with because it's like simplifying, removing the juror mechanic, but also showing you, like, you know, a straight, I believe, lower difficulty if we're only playing with Act 1 missions, and a curated deck here of, I see, like, lower difficulty numbers. Scenario 1 is a good place to start. And I'm pretty sure after my handfuls of plays of the default game, I played this scenario, the next scenario, and the scenario after a few times. I would probably say that this is probably better to learn the game with this scenario we're playing today, which is why I wanted to show it originally. But, and it is more fun, I think. But it's a good place to start because I think the difficulty is lower and the complexity is lower. So it's probably good to, like, start here and just work with a very contained scenario, because you see it only pulls like 1 of each of these cards in. So you can, like, literally, like, you're not going to see 2 wolves in the same game, you know? There's only 1 wolf, for example, or 1 wood sprites. So you can become familiar with those, and then this could be a good scenario to, like, learn the drafting, like I was saying before. Now that I think about it, I would play this scenario. If you get this game, just play this scenario and sit there and practice the drafting and play it over again, right? Because it's very contained, very low complexity. I think it's a good idea. I just thought of this. I think it's great. But that's it. That's it. Okay. Okay. So Yogi says, yeah, it's almost a tutorial mode that is easier than the base game. Yeah, which is weird because in the base game, they're like, play the base game and here's a setup of witches to start with and play this until you're ready to draft. But, like, And then it's like when you're done playing this, you can move on to the campaign book. But I really think now that I think about it, yeah, they probably should have used this scenario as like a tutorial to start with. And then in this, maybe this does work your way up to jurors, but I don't think so since the default. I haven't looked further than the first 3 scenarios, but yeah, this would be cool if this worked your way up as kind of a way to like make the game more complex up to the default version, and told you to start here to learn the game. I think would be cool, like we see with some other games. But again, the game is not that complex. It's not that huge. It's not that hard to set up. So like, playtime's not that long. So it's like, yeah, you can learn the game and tweak it however you want until you're comfortable. But yeah, I definitely like this little setup of the first scenario. Streamer mode, so if you lose it now, we can tease you about it. Oh, you can tease me about anything I lose. It's all good. Yeah. I don't know if it's easier than the base game, though, for sure. Because I don't think I played the base game enough to, like... But I'm sure you can make that easy, too, right? And now you do have the difficulty tweak. So in the base game, you could just lower the difficulty and learn that, right? And turn that into easy mode for sure. I just think this has less complexity and less and more known threats. Yeah, level 1 missions, yeah. And I don't think these are harder to counteract that. So, but yeah. But again, in the base game, I don't know how many missions you need to overcome in general mathematically to like always win the game, like, because the conviction values and the persuasion you can generate on the missions you play, like, I don't know how likely it is to get enough, and this you don't have to worry about that. So, and also these lower missions would generate you less persuasion too, so playing with all level 1 missions in the base game would make it harder to win, right? They're easier to overcome technically. But of course, you can have like a challenge grouping on them that make it like unbeatable if you're not prepared or you have a handful of curses. But yeah, we'll see. I'm no expert though. I don't know. I'm not gonna play this enough or never have played enough to know, but we'll see. Okay, curses. So we need like 3 curses. They're gonna be shuffling in our deck. Let's do it like this. Trying to give myself a lot of room. This game kind of goes wide and it's a little messy, but yeah, I'm just trying to give myself a lot of space. So I have lots of space to play cards, talk about cards, and we can put all the challenge cards here because you can add up to 8 challenge cards to a mission. And we need 3 cards at this mission. We'll look at it closely in a sec. 3 cards here. And we need 5 cards here. And they're all unknown. So we just went at this mission, for example. We know we need 4 to defeat this, but that's the only known information we have. I guess we also know that if we succeed, we can recruit a witch. So that will make more sense in a second. I don't know if we draft first, actually. I might be cheating by seeing information, but it's okay. I don't think it matters that much. Yeah, when do you draft exactly, like in setup? So conviction, missions... Oh no, you put them face up, I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you draft after setting. Okay, we're doing it right. Yeah, hey, we're doing it right. That makes sense. Okay, so we'll put those there. So witches. Okay, let's look at this. So there are 2 halves to each card. They have a name. The placement of the name bothers the hell out of me. But the last name matters, why it's bolded. The family name. It tells you how many, there's a little number 4 there, tells me how many of that family name of witches are in the witch deck. So those are put there to remind you that there are synergistic sets of witches that are in the pile of witches that will usually work off of each other. So for example, Mary here, or Marie, she gets extra power for other Tancred? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Tancred witches in play. Okay, but the more powerful revealed version, it's like a one-time use effect, has more power here usually. This one technically is more power on the left side, but usually they will give you more power here or an effect that balances with the power. So if it's a low power like 2, this effect is probably off the wall. On any one mission, ignore the effect of that mission this round. Yeah, so that's really powerful, right? The fail effect could be so bad. And if you decide to use the one-time use, you'll lose this witch at the end of the round from your deck, but the effect could be the difference between winning and losing. And timing is everything. So this one obviously works with other tankard witches. So as we're drafting, this helps you understand like, I have a couple tankards already. How many more are there? And should I be drafting them? And maybe I can build a whole bunch of my deck to synergize together. Okay. So, yeah. So that's how the witches look. But there are some one-offs too. Like, Amelia Stevens has only 1 Stevens in the game. And her revealed effect, for example, is 3+. So it changes on the fly. So anytime it has a plus after it, means it's an ever-changing power. So as the game state changes, you literally need to recalculate all the time, which is kind of neat. So this is +2 power for each familiar in your play area. So in this scenario, we only have 3 familiars shuffled in the whole deck. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if that's high or low normally. So does this witch suck in this scenario? Maybe. Maybe we don't see any familiars. Maybe, you know, and we have trouble collecting them, so that's not as good. But she does help us capture them. But again, there's only 3. And they have to be face up. So we want to save her for after they flip them face up, or if we see one. It could, and again, we might not see her at the time when we see a familiar, right? So this could be one where you could argue one way or another that this witch should be drafted now or not. And that's part of the fun of the scenarios, right? So, yeah, so that's an example. But yeah, they're all different. They all, the Sullivans, I love the Sullivans. I love the Sullivans. I always try to draft all the Sullivans. There's even Sullivans that will, if you miss some in the draft, that can, there's a Sullivan that'll help you grab them out of the recruit deck and pull them over to your side to get them in your deck, which is cool. So the Sullivans, there's 5 of them. And like on this side, it does nothing. But I'll find, there's a Sullivan. Yeah, the Sullivan family has, I don't know how to say, Elsie, which does the whole +1 power for each other Sullivan in play. And then +2 power for each other Sullivan in play. So yeah, so there's synergy, and it's kind of straightforward. To help you out with the drafting, I think is smart. So even if you're literally your second time of the game, you could just literally draft trying to match up last names. The more last names you can put together in a deck, the more synergistic it is. And then if you understand what you could face in the scenario, you know, like if we don't have Nixies in our scenario, this one-off Riverwalker Ariel might not be the play. But out of the 2 we're pulling up in a draft, you draw 2 witches, you choose one, you gain one, and you lose the other for the game, basically. She might be the right one to take based on the other one we have in hand that we don't need. So, like, her values could be better, or, like, we're okay with this, you know? We might just use her as a 3 power at one point, whether we have face-up Nixies or not, you know? It's totally up to you. So it's like, but are there Nixies? I should probably look at what's in this one, because I didn't play this scenario most recently. There is 1 Nixie card in that whole deck of cards. So maybe that's not the right one to take, you know what I mean? All right, so let's shuffle it up. Let's draft. We'll go through the draft process. Feel free to yell at me if you see anything. And also, let's look at these quickly. So we have Cure the Villagers in the Plague House. Failure, you gain a curse. It's 4 to overcome, okay? And has 3 challenges obviously in front of it. Then this one, 4 power to overcome, investigate the strange lights at the church. And its failure is search the village deck for the 0 villager card, exile it, and shuffle the villager's deck. Ooh, gross. Okay, and then we have this one's 4 to overcome. Protect our livestock. A success, you get to recruit a witch. So maybe that's one I go for first, but then I look and it has 5 challenges. So I'm like, maybe I don't go for that first because I need lots of numbers, but we'll see what I have in my opening hand for that. But maybe it's better to try to knock out one of these ones that potentially has lower values, but it might not. You could literally have 5 cards over here that are all like 1s and 2s, and some of them that don't have bad effects really. Maybe there's a couple familiars in there that even if we don't gain them, they're not going to hurt us if we don't you know, succeed on them. And it's not so bad. And even if we fail this mission, yes, we're halfway to losing because you can only lose 2 missions, but there's no failure on it. So even if we lost this, we could not get many punishments. But then over here, even though this is 4 and only has 3 cards in front of it, this could be like a 4, you know, maybe not in this scenario. Oh yeah, it could be. In this, it could be like a 4, a 2, and then have one of those skeletons that gets worse based on how many witches you have unrevealed in play. So it could be like a 4 value skeleton. So you could have all that added up. So even though this only has 3 cards and this has 5, this is not apples and oranges. Or not apples and apples, I should say. Always. It could be, but not always. So yeah, let's quickly shuffle the witches and we'll go through the draft. Okay. Yeah, we'll see some of the Act 3 missions if we play more scenarios. You'll definitely see Act 2 and Act 3 added in the future for sure. So yeah, it can get more crazy, but again, the scenarios are tweaked with different challenge decks than you normally see. So I feel like that's part of the power level equation, not just the missions themselves. Definitely not at all. But yeah, it's the challenge cards which can totally tweak a mission from being winnable or unwinnable, I find. Okay, so first witch. Here we go. All right, here's our first 2. We have lilies. Lilies have 4 in the family, 4 witches in their family. And the haze have 2 witches in their family, but let's see what they do. So Sabrina Lily has 2 by default. So we just keep using her over and over again. She gives us 2 power, that's great. Doesn't have an ability. But if we use her 1 time, we can use her to get 1 power. For each revealed lily in play, including Sabrina, search the jail pile. A jail pile is basically witches that you've played revealed and have been removed from your deck. They're still kind of around in a separate discard pile you can pull them from possibly with effects like this. But if ever we have a witch that's exiled, that's removed from the game. So that's why there's a jail pile for like a different out of play area, basically a different zone, to kind of keep them in a different game state so you can grab at them. And then you choose the witch to place on top of the Coven deck. So we can use the revealed ability on a witch, let's say Jocelyn Hayes, and then we can use Lily, trade Lily basically to get that ability back and use it again. I love it. But Jocelyn is a 2 and a 2 here, hidden. Draw 3 cards from the challenge deck, choose any number of those cards to discard, and place the remaining cards on top of the challenge deck in any order. So that's how you dig for like threats and kind of put all the easy cards, or how we would dig for familiars maybe, and kind of like try to find the cards we possibly want, and set up the next mission after we beat a mission. But this feels kind of win more. I guess they both kind of are. But anyways, this one revealed, uncover a challenge on any 1 mission, then discard 1 of those challenges. I really like this. This is amazing. You get to see, we could use this ability here to see all 5 of these challenge cards and then pitch one. That's huge. That's huge right there. But I like the lilies, how they work. Oh man. This is the fun. Here's where it's at. Like, this is literally the first pair of witches, and there's 24 witch cards. So we're going to do this 12 times. But I just want to show you this is like key to it. Both are good. I know. I like building the lily set, and I love this recurring mechanic. But this here at the right time can literally be like, you can really bust the game. Oh. Reshuffle the entire deck? Worst choice ever? Yeah. All right, how about this? Let's just take Jocelyn Hayes, I think. Okay, I'm going to put that over here in a pile so we can kind of see who we've taken and who we've not taken. Actually, let's just throw them up here. We can see them as we go, right? The next 2. A Tancred and a Sullivan. So Tancred, uncover all challenges on any 1 mission. I love it. And then reveal on any 1 mission for each Tancred in play, including Norma, discard a challenge. So we have no Tancreds yet. There are 4 of them. We also have no Sullivans yet, and there's 5 of them. And that one, search the jail pile and choose a witch to place on top of the coven deck. So there's that effect that I just threw away. We could get in a Sullivan. I'm going to go with the Sullivan, but this is also amazing. Oh my God, I hate this. Okay, so we'll just throw those there. And then we'll kind of go through the rest quickly, but I just want to show you like the cool options. And again, if you know the scenarios, you know the challenge cards, you know the missions, you know the jurors you're playing against in the default mode, you will definitely want to pick certain witches to build a deck based on what you're facing or based on what kind of gameplay style you like. So now I threw away a Tancred and we see another one. Oh, there's a Lily. So these are the 2 houses I've already declined. I really like this one. I know I like this one. Uncover a challenge on any one mission. But this one, choose a challenge on any one mission, discard it, and then increase her power by an amount equal to its unmodified difficulty. So if it's like a skeleton that says 1+, I think you just get 1 power for it. But it could be the difference. Like you could discard like a 4 power challenge in your way, or one that says you can't even apply power to a mission, and you could just get rid of it and she gets a power bonus out of it. So it's like could be like a 8 power swing, which is busted. I really like this one. And I love recurring this one. I think recurring this one is like broken, but that's personal preference. And then we have Mercy Lily. For each Lily in play, including Mercy, draw 1 card from the recruit deck. So that's like a blind top deck draw and gaining a new witch it's a new witch from the ones we didn't draft. So it's kind of like random and fun, but could ruin some of the synergy in your deck. But sometimes you just need to draw more witches and curses, so increasing those odds is great. Choose 1 card to put in your hand, shuffle the others back in the recruit deck. So this actually, if you build up all your lilies, you could target get the witch you want, but at least she works by herself just to get you to trade a witch for a witch. But it kind of sucks because she's only like 1 power when you do that. But this is fun, right? I'm taking Josephine. Just because I like Josephine. I don't know if I need her in the scenario that much. She's probably more powerful in later scenarios, but I just like the ability. So I'm just kind of going with what I want to do this one, but I'm not taking it too serious, but I just want to show you like how cool this is. So Flint Sparks, they just have 1 witch, and the Stevens have only 1. So do we want to discard face up lost soldiers is kind of how I look at this. And we only have 1 lost soldier in the scenario. And here's the one with familiars. And we know we have 3 familiars in the scenario. This has a potential to get stronger on the 1-time use. It has the potential to help us in a mission from just grabbing a familiar, which could help overcome more of the mission and get more rewards and less punishments. I think this is too situational. And just because there's only 1 lost soldier and there's 3 familiars in this scenario, just mathematically, I like the familiar idea in this game. It's fun. So I'm just going to take Amelia. Yeah, okay, Marasa Amelia, yeah. And Ultravioletta, maybe the familiar one. Lily is me if they give me the Olympic torch. Wait, what? Oh. All right, the next 2. I see, yeah, she got the candle. Jay Blown Splitter and a Sullivan. Okay, so discard a face-up skeleton. We have 1 skeleton, but the same kind of argument, right? And I know I'm trying to build the Sullivan crew. This one has draw 3 cards from the Coven deck. Basically, draw 3 cards from your deck. Put all Sullivans draw this play into your hand. So the more Sullivans we get, the better this is. Place any remaining cards back on the Coven deck in any order. So like, even if we don't draw a Sullivan, we can like literally pick what we're gonna have on the top of the deck. And then if we have a draw effect, we can like try to draw what we just set up. So we're gonna take Liz Sullivan. Okay, so we've taken a Tancred and we have not taken any lilies. We know 2 lilies are out of the game already. So without even reading and looking at values, that I'm thinking I'm taking the Tancred, but let's look further. So +1 power for each other Tancred in play. Okay, already has a 2, so could be a 3 if things line up. We have a Tancred. On any one mission, ignore the effect of that mission this round, gives us a 2. It's not the greatest amount of power on a loss effect, but if we want to ignore it, if we can't beat the mission, this can get us out of being really punished. Oh, there is ones that are higher level that literally make you draw like villager cards and add to the value of the mission and stuff. I think this would be better in those situations. Maybe not so much with the Act 1 missions, because we don't want to lose them anyway, but I guess if you lose it, at least stems the bleeding. But I just like this, just to reuse it over and over again. But let's check out Eleanor Lily, her hidden ability that's reusable. For each Lily in play, including her, draw one card from your deck, choose one card, put it in your hand, and shuffle the others back in. So this is the card draw. And then has a revealed effect without looking, draw 2 cards from the recruit deck, place one of them on top of the Coven deck, so setting up your next turn. Yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. So if we see this with Liz, Liz could let us tutor and align the top cards of the deck, and then Eleanor here would allow us to grab it if we had her on the same turn, if we timed that correctly. But if we keep grabbing Tankards, we have the potential of a good power buff. Has to be Marie without more lilies. No. But I'm going to take Marie. But no, this draw effect could be huge, right? But you could end up just drawing curses with it, but then that means you're not drawing those curses the next time you draw, probably. But yeah, we'll throw the lily there. Is there a lily that grabs other lilies, though? That's the other thing. I don't know. I don't remember. So here's another Sullivan. Search the recruit deck and choose one Sullivan to place on top of the Coven deck. So even if we don't draft a Sullivan, this is a way to get one of them back so we can get all 5 together. We have 1, 2. So if you like drafted and drew 2 Sullivans, you had to lose one, you would use this one to get it back, which is kind of cool. Oh man, the Kents are frustrating to me so much. So the Kents are focused on, this one is the most annoying. I've literally never, ever got this left one to work. +2 power if you have no curses in your hand. For some reason, I always draw a freaking curse when I draw her. I don't know why. And I take her going, this time I'm going to try to like get curses out of my deck and all this. And like, hopefully I'll draw them clumped one time and then I don't have her. But for each Kent in play, including Jane, you can remove a curse. So I like this removal one, I think is good. I sometimes do this one early where I just use her one-time ability to get rid of a curse, just to improve my draws going forward. Okay, so it can just get rid of one, which is nice. But the left power frustrates the hell out of me. So it's like you want to use this to improve the odds of this, but you would need to pull her back from the jail pile again, which you can do. So she's one where I think this is how I like playing her, is like use this early, then pull her back and try to get this to fire off, but then it never really like lines up. I don't know. I can never get it working, but in theory I like it. But I'm just going to take the Sullivan because I'm trying to build a set of Sullivans. And that's the Sullivan that grabs the Sullivan from here. So obviously you don't want to put her in here if we're going to lose one in the future. And then we have Mary Perrin. Oh, this I like. So you're going to have villagers go to the Lost Souls pile. And she'll give you +1 power for those villagers that could end up losing you the game, but at least as you're getting closer to the loss, you're gaining more power. And if you want, you can get +2 power if you use her one-time effect. This is the one I like more. This Roberts one, you get +1 power for each curse in your hand. Okay, this happens more often. And then this one, +2 power for each curse in your hand. So if you're facing a scenario where they're throwing curses at you like a ton, we need to draft her. But I don't know if this is the scenario for that. I don't know if this is the scenario for that. But I can go either way here. They're both one-offs. Let's go with Roberts. Genevieve Roberts. And then you know what I'll do? I'll flip the my first card off the Lost Villager deck will be the 3, and I'll be like, what the hell was I thinking? But maybe we get her out of the deck. We could still get her, maybe. Okay, we have Gwen Hayes. We have Gwen Hayes and Elsie Sullivan. So I'm definitely taking Elsie because this is a Sullivan that actually buffs up all the other Sullivans. I could put her in the recruit deck and then we just go fetch her, which is totally valid. Totally valid, actually. I might just do that. It seems weird. But let's see what Gwen does. Do we have the... Oh, we do have the other Hayes. Hidden. On any one mission, for each Hayes in play, including Gwen, discard a face-up challenge from that mission, Then draw a challenge to replace it face up. Okay, so if you have a really hard one in your way, but you might get one that's worse. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of this one, but move 1 or 2 face-up challenges from any one mission to another mission. That could be like game winning. So I'm going to get weird with it. We're going to throw, is LC our 5th one? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's no way we're going to draw a hand of 2 Sullivans going forward. Maybe I wait on that, actually. Yeah, maybe I wait. I don't know. Yeah, I think we have 1 more Sullivan coming. Yeah, I have 3 here. This would be 4. Yeah, let's save that then. Let's just take LC. And we'll get rid of Gwen. Okay. We have Charlotte Kent. Draw 3 cards from the Coven deck. Put all curses drawn this way into your hand. Place any remaining cards on the back on any order. So this sets up like your next turn huge. Or if you had any abilities that let you remove curses from the game or give you extra power for curses, she works great with that, obviously. But the 4, straight up a 4 on a one-time use when she's revealed is great. Oh, here's the buff on other lilies in play. We have taken 0 lilies, right? Yeah, we're just going to take the straight up power of Charlotte. Charlotte for sure. No lilies today. Sorry, lilies. Sorry. And we got Aerial River Walker, which is discard a face up Nixie challenge. We do have those. 3 power, not bad. 2 repeatable is not bad either. But Catherine Kent, for each Kent in play, we've taken 0. No, we've taken 1. We just took Charlotte. For each Kent in play, including Charlotte, discard a curse from your hand to the Coven discard pile, so we'll see it again. Then draw a card from the Coven deck to replace it. I like that a lot. And then +1 power for each curse in the curse pile. So if we don't take a lot of curses in the game, this can be a great late game effect. Even if we have 1 left, this is still a 4, which is great. Yeah, let's go with the same mentality we've been doing. There's only 1 Nixie, but Catherine kind of works on her own or with another Kent. We have another one, so I don't know. I just think this is probably the play. Yeah, let's just go with that. I think both are valid, though. And the last 2 witches. Okay, did I mess up? Where's the other Sullivan? Or was there only 4? Did I miscount? What did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, maybe there's not as many in... It says 5 on them, though. Does one get removed because of the... because of we're playing scenarios? That's weird. Or am I just not seeing it? I might be blind. Yeah, that's weird. A Sullivan on... Did I mess up? Hold on, I might have messed up. This is good. But I feel like we have the right number of witches, because it's an even number, right? Okay, hold on. Michelle Sullivan's removed because we're playing in this mode. So you remove these witches with the sun on them, and replace them with witches with the moon on them, right? Let me just make sure I'm doing this correctly. I feel like I did. Find the 4 witches with the sun. Yep, one of them's a Sullivan. Place them back in the box. Replace them with the 4 witches with the moon. Ah, which there is no Sullivan. Okay, we're replacing them with no... I see. So we lost a Sullivan. Well, that's dumb. So then I would have... If I knew there was only 4 Sullivans, I would have tossed one in here and taken that other card. So who was that? And can we remember? Hold on, let's work backwards. It was Elsie, right? So it was Elsie and Gwen. So let's just switch them for fun and go with what I was thinking. I was trying to put like the last Sullivan in there, but that is the last Sullivan. So in the scenarios, there's only 4 Sullivans, not 5. Who knew? Maybe I'm not building the good decks I thought I was. Sons of. You think they would change ones that the number doesn't get messed up, right? That's weird. All right. Phyllis Tancred, uncover a challenge on any one mission. She's straight up 4 power. Oh boy. Or Claire Wolfsbane, 2 and a 3. Discard a face-up wolf. The wolf is the strongest one. We do have wolves in the scenario. But getting some known information is great too. All right, I'm going to let chat decide on this one. I can go either way. Let me know. Are we taking Phyllis Tancred or Claire Wolfsbane? I'll go with the first handful of answers. Any choices here? Both of these are good. That's what I'm saying. I could go either way. I could go either way. And do we have Tancreds already? We have 1, 2. We have 2 Tancreds, and 1 is in the recruit pile, so you could pick whichever one looks cooler, whichever name you like, whatever numbers you like. Like, just pick. It's fine. You don't need to know how the game works completely. It's fine. Totally fine. Wolfsbane, cooler name. Wolf, says Ultravioletta. Joseph says Eileen Wolfsbane because of the Wolf Challenge. All right, it's Wolfsbane it is. Done. Man, you guys should have picked the Tancred. It's the obvious choice. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, all right. So these witches, I will shuffle quickly. This is what is now called the recruit pile. These witches, yes, as you saw from some of those abilities, we can draw witches from the recruit pile. We can look at the top ones, pick one, all that kind of stuff. So there's a chance some of the ones we didn't draft we can get. And then the discard pile for this deck is called the jail pile, basically. But cards will only go there usually from using the revealed one-time effects off the cards. And I'll just throw this pile over here. Okay, and there's our curse pile. Our curse pile currently has 3 cards in it because we're going to shuffle 3 cards with the witches we just made. So, of course, we're not going to have the god draws all the time. Nice, see, Mitch, nice. Those are horrible. Anyways, all right. Let's see here. Okay. Trying to keep them a little spread out so we know like which things, but I do like to normally spread them out. This game takes up way more table space than you'd expect it to, especially when you play on like, you get later in the game and there's like, some of these get like 6 or 7 on them, 8 even on one mission. But yeah, it's fine. Okay. Let's just shuffle our deck a little more. So we have our mission pile over here. We have to get through 6 of them and we win. We have 4 more spare, 3 in play, so 7 total. Our challenges are over here. We got some in play. Our lost villagers are here. And this is our recruit deck. And we're making our coven right now. And we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Let's just put that here. I think it's fine. Cynthia says, looking forward to this. I've been playing and losing this game. Okay, Cynthia, are you playing the default mode, right? And you're probably losing some. After playing the default mode, and we just talked about it on stream a little bit, if you just got here, but the scenarios, again, I've only played this one, I played this one like 2 or 3 times, but I instantly felt like I was learning more, and it wasn't as difficult and more straightforward, less complex, and helped me understand the drafting in scenario 1 and 2 and maybe even 3 of the campaign book. So what I'd recommend is like, again, you probably know the game really well by now, and I know you understand like games very well. But I think the best way is, we were kind of talking about on stream, is like playing these scenarios to kind of like ease your way into the game a little bit. I know you can switch the difficulty of the default mode, but I think that default mode is meant to be the more challenging, ultimate way to like, all right, you played the game 100 times, let's keep it challenging and interesting. But I feel these little scenarios in the scenario book are meant to kind of like, they're a better way to ease you into the game and like get used to the stuff. Yes, exactly, Cynthia. The book makes you seem like you should wait until you're good at the game and then move on to the campaign. That is incorrect. Somebody recommended to me, they're like, you need to try the campaign in this game. And I went, that was one of the reasons I grabbed it, because you guys know I love playing campaign games on the channel. But really, I think they meant to play the campaign because it's like, it's more straightforward. Like in scenario 1, we're only playing with Act 1 missions. There are no jurors in, there's no, the juror and the conviction mechanic is not in the scenarios. It's different win conditions each time and custom setups. Which makes you be able to focus more on the drafting and which witches you want to solve the scenario. I feel like it's much better. And I think what you do is after you beat all those scenarios, you'll see a lot of the game, you'll have a good handle on it. Then you play the default mode as the replayable, kind of like when you play a legacy game, that like it slowly reveals itself to you and ramps up in difficulty and complexity. And then at the end, some legacy games will create some kind of super game that you're meant to replay forever. I think that's the way this should have been like sold and designed and explained, is play the scenarios first. I haven't played them all though, I could be wrong, but my intuition is telling me play these first, and then after you've completed all the scenarios, then start playing with the jurors and all that stuff as a resettable, replayable, randomized kind of more challenging, complex way to play the game. That's what I think. That's just what I think. I've only played the default mode maybe 4 times. I played this scenario a couple times, the next scenario, and the next scenario. I haven't played all the scenarios, but this is what I'm thinking and the feel I'm getting. And Yogi's saying these are easy or something. This one's easy. But I don't know if Yogi's played it or he's just saying because of the setup. But yeah. But yeah, try that, Cynthia, try that. You might enjoy it more. Maybe you don't, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I think. Because when I played the default mode too, I was like, wow, I'm supposed to like understand this, and that starter deck they give you is trash, and then they want you to draft. Like the game is heavily on the drafting based on your juror setup, and if you don't understand all the jurors and their modules and what enemies you're going to see and the odds of that, like it's hard to draft. But in this, it's more the more contained scenarios that have like a small, a more contained scope to help you with focusing your drafting better, is what I think. But I could be wrong. All right. Scenario 1. Here we go. Oh, based on the setup. Okay, Yogi. I gotcha. Okay. So we got a handful of, no curses. So sometimes I don't like that because that means we have the odds of drawing our 3 curses together in a future draw, which sucks. I like them kind of spread out, but okay. So now's where the fun of the game comes of what witches do we play in phase 1? And what witches do we hold to play after we choose our mission? So, I think, can we find some information? On any one mission for each haze in play, including Gwen, discard a face-up challenge from that mission, then draw a challenge to replace it. So this we would save to play after we see some information. I'm just going to put that there for a sec. I'm not playing it, I'm just putting it down. But normally you'd play cards on the right that you're using the right side, and you'd play cards on the left that you're using the left side of the card. Then at the end, these would go into the discard pile of your deck. You'd shuffle new ones. If you ran out of the deck, you would shuffle the discard pile into the deck. But I'm just kind of laying them down, thinking through out loud on stream here. So Gwen, do we have? Oh, we have the other haze. Draw 3 cards from the challenge deck. Choose any number of those cards to discard. Place the remaining back on top of the challenge deck in any order. That would be kind of okay to set up our next mission, because then we know we'll be drawing off the top of the deck to replace whatever mission we clear and defeat, hopefully. So we can also use them together. Sorry, I should have been more, let's play more in the now, is we could set up the top of the challenge deck and then use her to discard some and replace them with new ones that we like. Maybe we can find a familiar that way quickly if we get lucky. So this little combo would be cool. Of course, I draw the one that gives me +1 power for each curse in my hand and draw no curses, because that's how this game works for me. And then we have, if we see a wolf, we could discard it with Clara, but we could just use it for 2 power. But I would definitely wait till we know if a wolf is there before using. So this one I would save in hand. This one I have no curses yet. Oh, what the heck? Look what we got. Draw 3 cards from the coven deck. Put all curses drawn this way into your hand. Okay, so we got the combo we were talking about. Ah, that's sick. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go here. We're going to play Charlotte Kent. And we're playing this before choosing our mission. And we're going to play her unrevealed. It's going to give us 1 power. Okay, we need at least 4 to defeat a mission. But again, sometimes a challenge card in front could block you from defeating the mission unless you defeat that challenge. So don't always assume only need 4 to complete it. I would always guess like you might need 8 or 6, you know, those kind of numbers you're aiming for. But of course we have no known information, but we have ways of discarding stuff. So even if a couple come up here that block us, we have tricks to get rid of them. You don't gain the rewards on them if you just discard them or switch them. You must overcome them with spending power, but at least we can make sure we don't fail. I think right now I would go after this one, because this will get rid, this is the one if we fail it, we would get rid of the 0 villager card. I don't want that to happen at all. So if we go for one that might be easier, that also gives us a good benefit, or we could go for this one where we gain a curse, not the end of the world. So even if we fail, not the end of the world. I would love to go for this one where we could recruit a witch. So that would lead to us getting more witches in our deck, which would make it easier going forward. But that is super risky with 5 cards here. If I had the one that could flip up a whole mission, I would maybe do that. But we do have ways of discarding. So if there are some bad ones here, I'm thinking we might hit this one because of our strong hand. Exactly where my mind is going. And now I'm reading in the chat. Yeah, Yogi's saying, yeah, we have no curses here. This could be really powerful. So what I want to do, I'm not going to make my decision yet, but I just wanted to show you, thinking out loud, is how you might have something in mind at the start of the turn, but timing when to get all your known information is key, right? So we're going to play this one. We're going to draw 3 cards from the coven deck. 1, 2, 3. And this will help us make a better decision going forward. So of course we get curses. Put all curses drawn this way into my hand. So not only will this make that one witch more powerful, this also makes sure on our next draw, we're not seeing these unless we have, oh, we have enough cards to not draw out of our discard pile. So these we won't see next turn. So we might only see 1 curse in the next draw. So we should have 2 back-to-back pretty okay turns, right? So those will go to hand. And then we're going to put Carol on top. So we have a Sullivan coming next. That's great. Do we have any Sullivans now? Oh, we have no Sullivans right now. And we're drawing from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. We're going to draw 5 more. We have a chance of getting like a bomb Sullivan hand. We don't have the one that buffs all the Sullivans, but we might be able to draw the one that grabs us a Sullivan and put it on top of the deck. And maybe we have one that draws. We'll see if that's the thing. But yeah, we might get a sick back-to-back 2 awesome hands because of this filtering of curses. Oh man, this is going great. Never works for me like this. Usually I play off stream and I have some like okay plays. And I'm like, all right, I'll play it on stream. And then I get like RNG always destroys me. But this is actually like the best start I've ever had in this game, I think. And I didn't even draft all the cards I would normally take that I think are strong. I was trying to be funny too. Have some, play a little silly too. Okay, so famous last words. I'm setting this up for a big fail later, I'm sure. But all right. So next is, we've saved this for later. We know that this reasonable power could be a 3 for Genevieve. Or if we're really desperate, we can really buff it up. So we could wait on her, I think. We're going to save the wolf discarding possibly. We can play that after we see the mission. And I think right now we can do the draw 3 cards from the challenge deck. Choose any number. To discard, place remaining on the back in any order, or on top in any order. So I think it's okay to play that. I think it's okay to play that right now. We don't need to, but I'm going to. So here's what I was talking about before. I hate the way they put in the name in the center of the card. I kind of wish they just reprinted the name on both halves. And I know if you have enough table space, like you're just gonna play them like this. But I like how clean it is where like in the resist, you know, play them all the way across. But I hate how I look down and I can't remember her last name. I don't know the witches well enough. So I just kind of put them like this. But eventually they'll like cascade, you know, you need more table space away from you, which is annoying. But yeah, anyways. All right, let's risk it. Let's risk it. We're going here, okay? I'm not playing any more cards from my hand. You can't play curses from hand. They stay in your hand till the end of the turn, then they're discarded. You are forced to play all your witches in the third phase. Any you have left, you must play them. You cannot hold witches back. You cannot carry them from turn to turn. If I didn't say that before. All right, so now we're going to choose this mission. And what that's going to do is reveal all these juicy challenge cards. Okay. We have a Witch Elder. If we succeed at this, it's expensive. And we don't have to, and we won't get punished. But we could recruit a witch. This is great. We possibly get 2 more witches, random witches from the top of this into our discard pile to see in the future. It would dilute our deck, but it would, maybe the curses would less show up. But maybe we don't want to do that, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? Okay, we have Whippoorwills. These guys are annoying because we're not allowed to overcome any other challenges until we deal with these guys. And they're 2. And this has a chosen effect to let you know when we choose this mission, this is now in effect. Okay. All right, we found a familiar. +1 power for each revealed witch. Oh, I forgot to do my ability on the other thing, didn't I? I'm an idiot. Sorry, guys. I forgot to do my ability. I don't think no one yelled at me yet. No, okay. We'll just finish this first. It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, it does matter. I wasn't supposed to see this first. You know what I could do? I could just say I didn't play this card yet. I shouldn't have done that. So we have Whippoorwills. They block us. We have stronger Whippoorwills. They block us. We already talked about the Witch Elder. The Black Cat. If we can get the Black Cat, it'll give us +1 power for each revealed witch. So that's when you use the one-time abilities. So this will get increasingly better in power as the game goes on. And then I wish I had the one that captured a familiar now. And this one, Plague Rats. If we don't defeat these guys, we actually lose the villager card, which is not what we want to do. But we can't defeat these guys until we deal with both the Whippoorwills. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to do the top of the deck, didn't I? So. Yeah, Black Cat is OP, but like we got to deal with other stuff first. So right now, I could ignore all of these and just spend 4 power to defeat that if we had it when we're done playing our witches, right? But now we have a chance to play more witches. But I'm going to play that other witch. I don't think we need to. I don't know. This is risky. Like, I don't want to discard any and replace them, but let's see what we get. So we're going to play Jocelyn Hayes. Actually, let's look at the power in our hand first. So if we just played all of the reusable powers, we would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the curses, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9. 4 for here. And then we'd have 5 left. So we can't deal with everything. That's not enough. But maybe we can reveal a witch and do a one-time effect just to get more power, to get to get more benefits here, right? I think I would want the familiar over the recruiting a witch one. I definitely want to get rid of this Plague Rats, but again, I can't choose any of these unless I spend 3 here. So if I only have 2 remaining after that, I would have some tough choices to make. So maybe let's do this. Let's do this. Let's play Jocelyn. We'll draw 3 cards from the challenge deck. Maybe we can make some shifts. So this one, the Angry Mob, they block the mission. So they make it so you can't even defeat the mission unless you get rid of these guys. Skeletons. These guys are so annoying. They give +1 for each hidden witch in play. So as I keep playing witches on the left side, they keep getting stronger. These guys are so annoying. I'm going to discard them for sure. And Wood Sprites. Each challenge on this mission other than Wood Sprites gets +1 difficulty. That's annoying also. Yeah, I don't want to replace any of these with any of these, really. Stupid. So dumb. All right. So I'm going to leave Angry Mob up there. And I'm going to get rid of Skeletons and Wood Sprites. I think this is what I'm going to do. Okay, let's just discard those. I mean, I could discard them all, to be honest. But now I don't want to discard because there's so much unknown information. Yeah, they are all horrible. I'm going to discard them all, Yogi. Yeah, you're right. I'll get rid of these guys. They're not that bad, but yeah, let's just get rid of them. Okay, so now we don't know anything on the top of the deck. I don't really want to replace here, so let's do it this way. I think I want to save Clara. So this is 5 power. I think I'm going to use Genevieve right now and reveal her, actually. And she'll give me, because, like, I don't know how many times it's going to line up like this good. So I'm going to play her. She gives me 2, plus 2 more for each curse in hand. So she's a 6 on the revealed side. So that would give me 6, 11. So that we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I could use Gwen to give me the full power and she can move some over, but I don't think so. I could right now use Gwen. On any one mission for each haze in play, discard the face-up challenge from that mission, then draw a challenge to replace it face-up. Do I gamble? I don't think I do. I think I just don't recruit a witch. But I could, like, get rid of these whippoorwills, but then I could pull out... Oh, there's only 1 wood sprites and 1 skeleton. But I could get, like, a 4-power wolf. And then I would have played this one. So let me hold this one. We still probably have text powers. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get greedy. I'm going to play Gwen. On any one mission for each haze in play, I have 2. I have 2. Discard a face-up challenge. I'm going to discard a whippoorwills, and that's it. The 2-power one. And I'm going to replace it with the top card of the deck. Okay, it's an evil witch. She's also 2, but she just gains me a curse. So maybe... I should have replaced this one with this, but hey, it's whatever. Okay. So now, I'll just play Clara for 2. So now we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we start with challenges, and we can do them in any order, and that might change values that are in play and stuff. But I need to do the whippoorwills first because they literally require it, or I can't do any of the other ones. So, what did I say we're at? 12? Yeah, 12. So we're down to 11. We'll get rid of the whippoorwills. I don't want to lose a villager. We're down to 10. I want the black cat. So this will bring us down to 8. I don't believe this applies right away. I think familiars only start taking effect on the next turn. I'm pretty sure that's a thing in the FAQ. I could be wrong, though. I think it says that in the familiars, like when you recruit them, it starts on the next round going forward, but I could be just making that up. I don't remember. I thought it was in the FAQ. I don't know, I might be wrong. Can I use the Fox's effect as soon as I capture it? No, you can only use the Fox during phase 2, choose a mission. You cannot use the Fox ability to change difficulty after you've chosen the mission. Oh, that's not the same, actually. That's not the same. Can overcoming challenges increase my available power? Yes, it can. Each time you overcome a challenge, check to see if it impacts the power on any of the witches or familiars in your play area. Yeah, it might be immediate. Maybe it's just when I read that Fox one before, I assumed you weren't allowed, but I think it is immediate. I think it is. I don't know. I'm just trying to see if I can find the familiars. I was playing it, so that didn't affect me right away. I may have been playing on harder mode too. Oh yeah, I think you can. I think it does. I think it does. Okay, I'm just gonna go with it. But if I'm playing wrong, let me know in the comments below if you're watching later and they've changed it or there's an FAQ somewhere that I don't know about. But yeah. So that changes things. So I would capture this one. So that is, I spent 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're down to 8. This now gives me +1 for each revealed witch. I only have 1 witch revealed. So now I'm back up to 9. And that is perfect because I spend 5 here and then 4 here. So I spend 3 here. I'll recruit a witch. We just take a witch off here and we throw it in our discard pile. Just like a deck building game, when you gain stuff, goes to your discard pile. Okay, so it's Jane Bone Splitter. Okay. Let's put these like this. Okay, Jane Bone Splitter's there. And then I'll defeat this one, so I don't have to gain a curse. And then we'll defeat this one with the 4 remaining, and we'll get to also recruit another witch. And the witch we get is, oh, the other Sullivan. So that whole idea of me digging through the recruit deck to pull out the Sullivan is useless now because we already have it. Okay, so it's not going to be as cool on that same turn, but it's okay. Okay. Done. We crushed that one. The only problem is we now lose this witch to the jail pile. So it's gone out of our deck. So no more getting buffed from curses. And then all of our curses in hand, all the witches we played, are gone to our Coven discard pile. We now need the next mission. So we got 1 mission done out of 6. This is Purify the Well. 6 to defeat it. 4 cards, 4 challenge cards, but also a way to recruit another witch. Okay, we're going to take the top 4, which we don't know what they are. Okay, and then we draw 5 new cards. That's it. I believe that's the first full round of the game. That only took forever. But you understand how it works now, right? Yeah, familiars stay in play. This is like an ongoing thing. That's why that one witch we saw was like plus something power for all familiars in play. They're like, kind of like you can build them in a tableau. So yeah, they're like ongoing effects. These are awesome. Like I love these little things. Again, if there's something like a mini game within the game where you want to like hunt for them and like try to grab them, you know, but it's like, yeah, it's tough. Okay. So we did draw only 2 Sullivans. I thought we'd have way more in hand. Well, I guess only 3 we could have had in hand because of the changed numbers that I didn't know. But we got 2 Tancreds and a Stevens. Okay. So let's decide. Oh, 6 power, man. We could get another witch. That'd be so cool. But yeah, so we know this ability is not doing anything for us. So she literally is a 0. But if we had the Sullivan that gave us +1 for every other Sullivan, she would help. But yeah, that's okay. Oh, now we have the capture a familiar. So there's 2 more familiars in the scenario. Maybe we can find them. Again, they're random. I don't know what they are, which is fun. But let's go like this. We're gonna go, I don't know if we even, so if we just played all the left effects, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We'd have 9 power. 9 power is like amazing to go at one of these 2 right now. But they don't give us bonuses to help us for this one. But this one gets us a new witch, which is great. The earlier in the game we get that witch in there. Again, it could dilute our strategy, but it also would just get us more witches so we draw less curses. But we also have that one that likes curses, so maybe that's not the right way to do it. Yeah, let's just go for one of these 2. We do have one that gets to look at like one face-up challenge card, but the only problem is I love holding this in hand for this ability, just to win us one. And usually I hold it for later when we get like higher acts, but in this one we're only fighting act 1s. And we also don't have the highest power of effects, but just the ability to replace is amazing. So I am going to go for this one, I think. And I think if I hold effects like that, and I hold effects like this, Dr. Squatch, thank you so much for being a member for 14 freaking months. Happy Friday to you too, my friend. Thank you so much for the long-term support. Here, the discard a challenge from any one mission could help us, like, if we get screwed, right? And we have a trouble. So yeah, we could, these are 2 ways we can, like, even if we draw like 2 or 3 bad cards here, we can literally like really get them lowered. Also the +2 for each familiar in my play area, she could literally be a 5 power if we really need. But man, if we uncover a familiar there, we can grab it, that will also swing the power in our way. Yeah, so I'm gonna get risky again. Let's go here because we have like a good hand here. No curses. Let's get risky. So we're not even playing any witches. So hopefully there's not a card here that tells us you're not allowed to play witches anymore in phase 3 or something. Monstrous insects. The failure effect for each. Oh, I hate these guys. So for each other mission, so if we do not overcome this guy, and he is there after we're done resolving the challenges, then the mission, he will make these missions harder by adding a challenge to each one. Oh no, wild boar. Failure, exile, so remove from the game a hidden witch that we played. But we haven't played any hidden witches right now. So if we don't play any hidden witches, we can avoid exiling one, but then we would obviously play them all revealed, and we would lose a whole bunch. Jacko, thank you so much for the super chat. Driving, can't text. What the? What is this emoji? It's not even showing it. I don't know what that was. Idiot. Oh no, we found the wolf. This is bad. Look at all these numbers. 4, 3. Oh no. And then we found the witch elder. So we could recruit another witch. But I think we can ignore her. Because she's not going to hurt us if we ignore her. A wolf. So let's look what the wolf does. Success. Discard a challenge on this mission. And you choose the order you defeat them. So we could spend 4 on here and we could like defeat the wild boar. Which is great. Or if we fail, the wolf eats one of our witches and we get a curse. Yeah, so that's cool. So cool. All right. This is worse than I thought. Because look, if we're just looking at everything, 6, 10, 12, 14, 17. 17 total power here. Obviously, if you time things in different order, it's not that specifically. It should be we deal this 4. Then we could automatically defeat this. And that would leave us, so that's 4 plus another 10. No, did I add that up right? Yeah. So it's still 14 we'd have to deal with. So that's not the greatest. But we can ignore the Witch Elder because she doesn't punish us. I really want to get rid of these two. The exiling a random witch is not the worst thing. And we have our Black Cat that gives us +1 power for each revealed witch. So, but this is exactly why I changed this or keep this. So I can choose a challenge on any one mission, discard it. So if I discard the wolf, we don't get his success ability or reward, but we would get rid of 4 out of the challenge and she would become a 4. But I could do the same thing with the 3 and then get rid of the wolf that then gets rid of the monstrous insects. That would be nice. I think I'm going to play her for that. But let's check. There's no familiars, of course, annoying. So in the mission, so I can't grab one. That rarely ever lines up. Okay, so let's do it this way. We're going to play Marie. She's going to give us +1 for each other Tancred in play. We have another one. We're going to play her revealed. We're going to toss the wild boar, which will make her a 3 power. Okay. We'll just put that under there to remind us, right? Okay, and that's also going to give us +1 from our Black Cat. Okay. I could discard a challenge on any one mission also. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 already. We need 6 to defeat it. I need to get this one. So I technically just need like 10. So I'll just play this for 2. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we're good. 11, 12, and 0. I mean, I could search a recruit deck, choose one Sullivan, place on top of the Coven deck, shuffle the recruit deck. But I'm like, unless I screwed up, I don't think there are any in here, right? Yeah, no Sullivans, but we fail. I'll just shuffle, whatever. But yeah, I should check that just in case. Now that I know the Sullivans changed based on what mode you're playing, I really should not make assumptions. Okay, so we have, what did I say? 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? No, that's wrong. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we're okay. Unless I messed something up. Yeah, I think we're okay, right? Because we would, out of the 11, we spend 4 of it, right? And go down to 7. We defeat the wolf. You will discard these guys. So we have 7 left. Oh, which is still not enough. Yeah, I think we just don't recruit the witch here. I think it's still fine, right? Unless I mess that all up. Yeah, I thought I had 12 for some reason, but yeah, we'll not defeat that one. But it's not stopping us from defeating the mission. So I'll defeat the mission, which will recruit us a witch. And we get a lily. Okay, it's not the best lily to get when you have no lilies, but she doesn't have the worst numbers, I guess. A 2 and a 2 is like not the worst, but not the greatest witch we pulled. But unless we got lilies from those first pulls. No, we didn't, right? Nope. Okay. So that mission's defeated. I'm just putting him in a pile off to the side, so that's 2. She just gets discarded, doesn't do anything for us. But at least it's not bad. Oh yeah, the wild boar is gone. This one's gone. These ones go back here. Next mission. Save the village grain supply. So 5 with 4 challenge cards. Success. Yeah, these are the ones I like that set you up for a bigger one. I wish we had one of these at the start to help us for those missions that ended up being high power. Now we know we won't see the wolf on any of these for a bit. Okay. Right. And now we'll draw 1, 2, 3, but now we need to shuffle. Oh, what happened? Oh, yeah, yeah. All downhill. I love Canada. Okay, okay. So 2 more. Okay. Oh, we drew 2 curses. Womp womp. What, do we have the girl that gives us plus from curses? No. Nope, nope, nope. So we do have the one that digs for Sullivan's out of here, and the one that gives us bonus for Sullivan's, and we have 2. And then we have the Kent, for each Kent in play, discard a curse from your hand to the Coven discard pile and draw a card. Oh, if we could get another... Okay, at least we can get rid of 1 curse and replace it. Yeah, let's do that. So, we don't have to choose our mission yet. Okay. Or we could play this one to give us 3+, and it would give us 3 more for all the curses here. So she could become a 6, and then we get a bonus from the cat. That could be huge, 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 huge if we do that. But I think I'm going to go for the hard Sullivan route. So we're going to play Catherine before choosing. For each Kent in play, it's only her. We'll discard a curse from our hand, and now you know we're going to draw the witch that wants curses in the hand. We'll discard this one and replace it. Draw 3 cards from the challenge deck. Oh, okay, this is Jocelyn who filters the top of the challenge deck. We're going to play Liz. She will draw 3 cards from the Coven deck, and then put all Sullivans we gain this way, which is only 1, into our hand, and we can put the other 2 on the top of the deck in any order. I feel like I'm going to just put this one on top like this. Okay, so we have 2 power in play. We have a Sullivan that will get us 2, plus 2 more for the other Sullivans. So she's like a 4. Then plus, this one gets us nothing, but I could use her to discard a challenge. I think I'm going to get rid of Jocelyn Hayes right now. I'm going to play Jocelyn for her one-time use effect. Uncover all challenges on any one mission, then discard one of those challenges. And this is before we choose. So she's going to give us 2 power. I'm going to uncover all of these ones. Okay, so we uncover Angry Mob, which means we can't overcome the mission unless we get rid of these guys. So that makes this basically a 5, plus a 1 is 6 that we must do. Then we have an Evil Witch, who we should burn. Burn the witch! Which would gain us a curse. The witch would gain us a curse. But before we can deal with other challenges, we have these idiots, the whippoorwills. So we have to deal with this whippoorwill before we can deal with the angry mob, before we can deal with the mission. And then we have the plague rats, which are 3 and would cost us a villager card, which we've revealed 0. So we wouldn't lose from this yet, but it's not the only way to lose villager cards usually. But maybe we pull the 0 and we shuffle it back in. Who knows? No familiars. So uncover all challenges on any one mission, then discard one of those challenges. I'm going to discard the plague rats. Yep. So technically we only need 8 to go here, and we're like living the dream. We need 7 minimum to beat the mission and these 2 guys, and then we would gain a curse. But if we can get to 8, and we're at 1, 2, 3, 4 right now, 5, because the black cat. And then, yeah, we got it. Okay, so we're definitely choosing this one. Okay, we don't have to reveal anything, it's already revealed. So we got 1, 2. She's going to give us +1 power for each Sullivan play. Remember, this is ongoing. So even if you play Sullivans later in the turn, or some get removed, this number is ever changing all the time. So I'll just play this Sullivan here. She's 0. I can search a recruit deck, but we already know there's no Sullivan there. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, 7, 8, 9. So more than enough. So I'll first defeat the Whippoorwills, then defeat the mob, then defeat the evil witch, then defeat this, which the success is draw 1 extra card from your deck during the recovery phase this round. So we're actually going to draw into 6 cards to set us up for the next one. I usually like using that one before we do one that has like a lot of stuff on it. But I mean, the next one we draw might be heavy. But again, we're only playing on Act 1 missions. Normally you'd start drawing into Act 2 and Act 3s and it gets more difficult. So you really want to time when you're defeating certain missions to set you up for defeating harder ones, which you'll see more if we play like another scenario in another episode and stuff. That'll be shown off more. But that's why I'm kind of playing that way, but it's like, oh yeah, let's get rid of these guys here. And we lost Jocelyn Hayes. She's now going to jail because she revealed herself to the villagers and they just throw witches in jail around here. Protect our children at the school. 4 to beat. If you succeed, discard a challenge from any other mission. So even if it's face down, we just pick a random one and discard it. Or if we had face up knowledge, that's where those ones that flip cards face up are really powerful with some of these effects. Oh yeah, and this curse is gone. We need 4 cards here. Okay, and then we're going to draw 6 cards from our deck. Okay, because of the reward on the last one. We got 1 curse. Okay. Draw 3 cards from the Coven deck. Put all curses drawn this way into your hand. Place any remaining on the back in order. So we have 1 curse. Oh, they're both in my discard pile, so I wouldn't even find any. But it would allow me to switch what's going on in my deck. Not really great what's going on here. But even just default power, we're sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we don't have other lilies for the buff or other Tancreds or Tancreds. So it's just 9 straight up power or more if we start revealing more witches. So I think 9's a fair number to go at any of these with. But it's not the most combo-y Amazeballs hand, but I still think I go for this one and be greedy. We have 3 missions beaten. We just need to beat 3 more. But again, I don't have the best hand, so going for a 4 with 4 cards is probably silly. But again, it would help me discard something from one of these to make it even easier. But let's just go for one of these. I really want to win this one. It has like the worst failure effect. Gaining a curse is not the end of the world. So maybe we go for this one, actually. Yeah, let's just go for that one and play nothing. And just reveal. Wild Boar. Exile a random hidden witch. Okay, not the end of the world. But it's still a 2. Another Plague Rats, that's 3. Lose a villager's card. Oh, and another Plague Rats, that's 2. Lose a villager card. So technically that's 4 to defeat the mission, but nothing blocking us. We can totally just spend 4, beat the mission, but we would then flip 2 villager cards, which could be a loss. It's mathematically possible, but it's not likely, but it can happen. And then exiling a witch from the game out of my hidden witches. It's not the end of the world either, because we've gained a few witches already, and we haven't really gained any curses. So I would like to have 9, which I said. So let's just do that. Let's just play what we said and make this one quicker. It's fine. I obviously could play some revealed effects, get more power, but I think 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So what I'll do is spend 5 of it so I don't lose any villager cards. And then I'll ignore this guy. I'll defeat this mission so I don't gain a curse from it with my remaining 4. And then I'll get punished to exile a random hidden witch. So one of the witches that I played hidden will now be exiled from the game. So I can't get her back from the jail pile. We have 5 here to choose from. Two. All right, so we'll never see Mary or Marie Tancred again. She's been exiled from the village. Get out! And the rest will just go to my Coven discard pile. This guy will be discarded. We didn't lose the mission, so we get our final mission in play. Put out the fire at the woodcutter shed. If you fail, you lose a villager card. It's 4 with 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. So when we need to get another card from the deck, we'll shuffle the ones we've already seen, and we'll create a new challenge deck. Okay. But right now we're good. And then we need to draw. We only have 3 cards here, so let's shuffle again. Maria's moving away because of all the plague in the village. Plague rats need to learn how to properly wash their paws. Yeah, no kidding. Okay. No curses. Wow. These are like, I tell you, every draw I play this game, I always have a curse in hand. And today it's like totally not happening. This is not normal, by the way. Not normal. And I always have a curse, and then I have that one that's like, get extra power for having no curses. And now I'm drawing no curses, and I don't have her in my deck. It's like, screw you, game. Screw you. Too bad the black can't eat the rats. Okay, so Sullivans, we got 2. Do they care about each other? Yep, one of them gives +1 power for each other Sullivan. But I don't have the one that digs for more Sullivans, unfortunately. Okay. Capturing a familiar could be a thing. We only need to defeat 2 more missions. So we're only 2 missions away, which means we can start revealing more witches and just crush it now. The end's in sight. And that's how you kind of have to approach this game, is like, it's kind of the way I play Gloomhaven. And again, I don't know if this is the right way to play. But in the Gloomhaven games, you have like a lot of those cards you can throw away for like super powerful effects, but you lose them from the game forever. And this is exactly like that same feeling. If you start using the right side of the cards, you got to be sparingly using them because they start breaking up your deck a bit. But when it gets near the end of the game and you're like in the final boss room, quote unquote, go crazy. But be careful because you still have the curses in your deck, which could make you have some crappy hands. But because we've not lost a single mission and we're not do or die, we have no villagers in here, I can risk having a bad turn or 2 going forward where we fail a mission, you know? So, also removing some non-Sullivans means in our future draws, having them come together is more likely if we're digging for them and stuff. So I could line up like maybe a future turn. That's why like knowing what you drafted, knowing what's currently in your deck is a huge part of this game, but obviously that only comes with like multiple plays. Like you gotta play this game a lot for it really to shine, I feel. I feel that's the thing. But again, it's not that long to play, and it's not that hard to learn. It's really pretty simple. But I can see why people get addicted to it and why people love it. Okay. Oh man, I could use this one. I love using this one near the end of the game. To just go grab a witch that like helps us, puts it on the top of our deck to like line up my next turn with whatever I got going on. Like I could grab that witch that could like switch a challenge card, steal its power. If I had a whole bunch of familiars right now, I could go grab that one again, you know, and kind of buff it up. It just like lets you set up like a really good next turn. I like that card. It's like all timing. This game is all timing. I just don't know if I should use any of these first. I don't think so. Yep. Let's just go. Let's go here. This one, if we do beat the mission, it'll let us discard any challenge from another mission. Then it makes our last one like hopefully easier. But again, if they're face down, we could discard something that's like we want. So having them not face up could be risky. But let's just go here. We'll reveal. Oh, we found the angry mob. 3. Ooh, we can't overcome the mission while it has angry mobs. Oh, we found one of our other familiars. Oh, I think I have the capture a familiar one. Yes, we do. So I can grab the familiar right away, which will give us +2 power if you have at least one other familiar in your play area. Sick. All right. Oh, and after that, we're going to have a campfire to try to burn this evil witch. And we can also cook some boar, hopefully. There's only a 1 health boar. I don't know what that number is called, but yeah. And we're getting close to the end of the game, so exiling witches is like, yeah, okay, whatever, man. So we can totally ignore this guy. We just have to get rid of the mob. Gaining a curse right now would not be the end of the world because it would go to our discard pile. And if we draw only from here, and how many curses do I have? Oh, I have none. So we still could have a bad next turn drawing a whole bunch of curses. So maybe let's not get risky, but she is 3. But I definitely want to capture the familiar. So let's do it this way. Where is it? Okay, I'm going to play Amelia. Capture one face-up familiar on any one mission. So I'm going to play her hidden, which will auto-capture this guy. We don't even need to spend the 3 on it. He goes here, and he'll give us +2 power right away. So we just got 4 power already. So we have enough to defeat the mission, but we got to get through this guy. So we have enough to get through this guy, but then we need at least 3 more. And in a perfect world, we need 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we're at 4 right now. Yeah, we could go crazy. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Draw 3 cards from the Coven deck. Put all curses drawn this way into hand. And any remaining cards on top of the deck, I think. Yeah, let's just do that to really make sure our next turn is not bad. Maybe. Okay, no curses. What? Okay. Well, that flopped. But at least we know the top 3 cards we're drawing are not curses, but the other 2 could be. Okay. Now let's do this. I'm going to play Gwen Hayes as revealed. Move any 1 or 2 face-up challenges from any one mission to any other mission. And she'll be revealed, so the cat will give us a +1. So I'm going to move Angry Mob to here. And I'm going to move Evil Witch to here. And we're definitely going to ignore this mission, if that wasn't obvious. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. More like overkill, right? So let's just play these ones down. They give us extra buff. I mean, we could have saved one there. It's not the biggest deal. But who cares? Yeah, we have so much power. It's like insane. But I just want to do this for fun because it's funny. So it's not needed, but it's funny. And then, yeah, we'll just defeat this guy. Also, this keeps them out of the deck we're about to shuffle through. So that's probably smart, actually, to put these guys somewhere where I don't ever care about them, rather than put them in the deck where they'll come back around. This guy I'm okay with come back around. He's fine. But, yeah. So actually, that is kind of smart. It is kind of smart. It's not as completely useless as you're thinking. Yes, I had tons of extra power, and now we've defeated this one. So we can discard a challenge from any other mission. I'm going to go for this one. So let's just discard this middle one. Sure. Oh, no. We discarded a black goat, our familiar buddy. Oh, no. It's totally fine. A familiar doesn't matter after that. It's fine. Okay, so we have no new missions. So this is it. We've defeated 5. We can have our little victory pile over here now, maybe. Okay, we defeated 5 missions. These are only 2 left. Okay. This one's gone. These guys are in my hidden pile, or my discard pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully final turn of the game. We didn't draw a handful of curses. That's not possible at this point, so. All right. We're going here. We have 4 and 2 cards. Can we really, like, crush it? Yep. Yeah, we got no curses again. What the hell? Yeah, man, I shuffle awesome today. Holy. I guess we've also been good at not adding curses to our deck. That's maybe also helped. And we actually added witches right at the beginning. So that leads to like diluting our deck too, to make curses not so common. So that's, I guess that it makes sense, but normally I've gained a curse by now. I usually gain a curse like really early. Okay, I don't see anything that's like I need to do right now. So yeah, I could like search for Sullivan's, but I know my other 2 are in the discard pile, so I'm not going to see them. So let's just go here. Oh no, it's the cursed chickens, the final boss. Gain a curse and place on the top of the coven deck. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I usually would have already had happen to me by now. But we're playing pretty good. We're getting some luck on our side. I think we built a good deck. We're playing slow, careful. This is great. Oh, Evil Witch. She's 4. But again, none of these are stopping me from beating the mission. So like, I just want to show you, like, we don't need to like, I know we're like overpowered here, but so for example, I can just play all these hidden, you know, and have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't have any other lilies. So I could have 8 power, and I could just say I want to spend, I don't want to defeat these guys even, like who cares? Because remember in the scenario it says, once I defeat this mission, so I can bypass these, defeat the mission, and I instantly win. I don't even need to resolve these. Game ends immediately. So like, yeah, we kind of like had a good like cascading effect of benefits that led to like kind of our power scale going up at a much quicker rate than like the mission does. But again, the missions all act 1s, so it's like not meant to scale up really. It's meant to stay kind of flat. But it's a good place to like stretch your wings and practice and draft different witches and try it out. It's not so punishing. So you can kind of see like what comes together. And then in the next scenario, which again, if you guys enjoy this, hit the like button, helps other people watch it. I'll take a look over the weekend, and if you know, people are interested, you know, feel free to leave me, you know, comments to butter me up if you're watching this later. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. You don't need to leave nice comments. I appreciate them, but you don't need to leave them. Yeah, I can play again next week maybe and schedule another one. We can play like the next couple scenarios. We'll play like 2 in the same episode maybe. But I just want to give this like a showcase of like what the scenarios look like, the campaign book, how the game flow works, you know, kind of how the game works. We found a cat and an owl, so like, I mean, it's the best playthrough I've ever made, I think. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I appreciate it. 39 likes already. Thank you guys. That's huge. That is actually really huge. I appreciate it. And if you're watching later, click that like button. It helps. I don't say it enough in the videos. I get people leaving comments lately or getting mad at my community because I'll have like 3,000 views on a video a couple days later and like 30 likes. So yeah, there's people who are pissed, who are watching my videos, who are mad at you for not clicking the like button. I'm not so mad because it's like, you know, you gotta work for those likes, you know. Have I been delivering enough? I don't know. But anyways. Cynthia says, thanks for this. I'll be playing the campaign now. Yeah. Again, I've played the scenario, Cynthia, like 3 times before stream. Plus I played the next 2 a couple times each. So when I went back to this one, I maybe made it look easier than it should be, but maybe not. But either way, I think it's a great place to start, like scale down the complexity, scale down the scope of what is in the challenge deck and what's in the mission deck, and just like draft and try some crazy draft ideas out. Like just put some combos of witches together and see how they go. And then you also get to learn like what's in your deck and try to pay attention to what's in the jail pile, what could you pull back, what witch powers you have, start getting to know the witches and their last names and like their family names and how many there are and what could connect. And even I just learned today, like it does change the numbers based on the ones you're told to remove for the challenge for the campaign book. Remember to follow this setup at the beginning that's like tells you to remove certain witches with the sun, put in the witches with the moons and all that stuff, the opposite of what it told you to do when you're playing the base game. It does change the value. So if you got used to, Cynthia, the main deck, it does change 4 witches, which does change the odds of and the abilities. So you're going to kind of be like learning a slightly new witch deck. So keep that in mind. It's not fully transferable. So when I said like play all the campaign, then use all that to be so good at the other mode, it does change some things. So, but yeah, I still like it a lot. I like the little progressing story and stuff. I think it's funny. It's neat. It's not like mind blowing or anything, but it's like I prefer it to play this way. And then I think after you play the campaign is the best way is to like then you're ready to take on the jurors and that wacky tobacco crazy challenge. And then you can even mess with the difficulty on that too, which I like. But anyways, that's Witchcraft. A reskin of Resist. So if you already own Resist and you're like, I like Resist, but I don't really play it anymore because it got boring. Witchcraft is not going to blow your mind. It's the same stuff over again. But if you don't own any, if I was just going by gameplay, I'd probably pick Witchcraft. I would pick Witchcraft. I like the theme better. They learned and they supposedly made some tweaks based on feedback from Resist. Resist is like considered more hardcore. And that theme is not for everybody either, but neither is this one. And I'm sure if this one sold well, we're going to see probably on, if it hasn't already happened, I guarantee we're going to see another version of this on crowdfunding with a different theme worked on it, you know, and maybe another couple mechanics added in or something. Because again, this is like a Dave Thompson game too, right? Yeah, it is. Dave Thompson, who's it? Roger. Basically, any Dave Thompson game, I feel like if it's similar to, or not any Dave Thompson game, but like how many versions of that a war game do we have already, right? The Undaunted, right? Once they make that Undaunted system and people like it, then they're like, all right, let's make an expansion and another one and a standalone and a campaign. And now let's retheme it with space. And they'll probably retheme it again, you know? So I wouldn't put it by them to retheme this again, even if it's with a different publisher. But yeah, so if either of the themes aren't working for you, but again, if you're looking for a solo only game, like this is pretty tight. I like the play, but I like card play. I like that whole idea of making decisions on like the draft and then like what to play each turn and trying to pay attention to what challenges you've seen, what you've dealt with. There's some risk to it. The deduction of like, you know, what could happen, trying to time where to put, if you have like a crappy hand or a powerful hand, when do you go after a certain mission? Do you wait till you uncover some more information first, or you just go in and hope for the best and then just try to like not take as many losses? And it's about sometimes squeaking through, but and just trying to get a little bit more powerful. But yeah, you don't always run across the finish line in this game. Sometimes you just limping or crawling to the finish line and getting your pinky finger over, and you know it still feels great, and it's not always like a blowout win. You know, sometimes it's like not a bad loss, and you're still like, all right, I'm doing better. You know, keep in mind that's how it is in the default game. Just keep that in mind. So Marav says, yeah, Resist scared me in playthroughs. This one feels a little better. But remember, I'm playing the scenario, which obviously I think this first scenario is meant about being scaled down to not be so overwhelming. And I think is a great first way to try the game. But I do, Cynthia's saying too, and I feel it from what I've played, the base version of the game, Resist to Witchcraft, they're both difficult. They're both like pretty hardcore. Yeah, so yeah. And they both have a scenario book. So I can't speak on the scenario book for Resist. That could be the exact same thing. That could be the exact same thing. So that's the problem. Like I said, it's not apples and oranges. Like I played with the campaign book today, but my previous playthrough was Resist. I didn't. So I can't even compare them like I can only compare default mode to default mode and like theme to theme, but that's all I can do. So sorry if I'm not completely helpful for you, but they're both good games. Like I can't knock either of them really. They don't make me mad. They're not long enough to like make me mad to lose often. They're very easily resettable, and they definitely reward you the more you play it. I promise you, if you like learn to like are willing to learn from your mistakes and admit you are the problem, and get better, and learn the cards in the game and like draft better, based on the situations. That obviously takes time to learn all the cards, unless you're going to sit there before every play and like read every single card and go, all right, these are the witches I should get based on these cards in the decks. But again, they might not show up all the time for you and every time you try it, which is cool. But yeah. But expect to get your butt kicked the first couple times you play if you don't know how to draft in the game for sure. C-Mitch says, I'm always the problem. Exactly. Must admit, you are the problem. You are the reason you lost. But that's not true with every game. And this game can have some randomness, of course, but yeah. I feel like if you know the cards and you draft well, you like can really set yourself up for success. Anyways, thank you all for hanging out. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Mel and I will be back tomorrow. We're going to play live on stream an escape roomy type game that I think requires like a web app, which we're literally going to like open tomorrow morning right before stream. Like I haven't even taken the shrink wrap off the game. We tried it before. We played an exit game on stream. And we played like, we've played one of those like true crime games on stream. We've played an escape room game on stream before. These are things I never really streamed on the channel before, but they went good. So we are going to try another one, which is kind of like a creepy, spirity, horror themey kind of thing to it. At least it seems like it. But again, we've never played it, so we'll look at it tomorrow. But we're going to play it tomorrow on stream. It was a game that was recommended to us a couple of years ago, actually. I added it to my wish list at my local game store. I got it, I think, right after last year's Halloween, and was like, okay, I'm playing this next Halloween. So it's been in my pile of games to play. So I don't know for sure if it's like super horror themed, but there's some supernatural stuff to it, I think, if I remember correctly. So if you want to join us tomorrow, it's going to be spoiler filled. But we're going to play one of those like kind of, it's called an Escape Tales. And you can join us and we'll like put everything on stream and we'll try to work through it all together and try to play through the game together. And it's got alternate endings supposedly too. So even if you're worried about spoilers, I think, or if you played it before, you can join us and maybe we'll get a different ending than you've seen and stuff, which would be neat. Oh, Janet says I've done that one before. Hey, Janet says, have fun. Is it good, Janet? I forget who recommended it to us. It was like Dan Roberts. Maybe it was Tiny. Or I can't remember. Somebody, recommended it to me. And right away, I remember putting it on my local game store's list. And I'm so bad at remembering things like that. So I apologize. But yeah. I just remember someone that I respect recommended it based on what we like. And that Mel and I should play it together. And we were going to play it off stream. But I was like, no, let's hold it. And we'll play it on stream. If we can play escape room stuff on stream and it works out. So it did. So we're going to try it again. So join us tomorrow for that. And if you want to see more Witchcraft, stay tuned to the channel. Like, I want to play more. But again, if this video doesn't get a lot of views or likes or whatever, which likes lead to more views, you know, stupid YouTube. Yeah, if it doesn't have a lot of views and stuff, I'll just play other stuff. I have more stuff I can play. But if you guys want to see more of it, hit that like button. And if people are interested in more, let me know in the comments too. I guess that would help the algorithm too, leaving comments. That is the thing. That is the thing. I will play more next week. And we can play like scenario 2 and 3 in the next episode. So yeah. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thanks to these folks right here. Thanks for the super chats today. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And, oh, Janet says, it was good. Some puzzles will be challenging. Chat can help. That's right. Chat will help. Right? Anyways, thank you all for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend if we don't see you tomorrow. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.